right, back in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. We got a whole crew with us. What's good?
Yeah. So, guys, listen, I was on Amazon Music earlier this week, and I was listening to my favorite jams. And then right behind it came another jam and another one and another one. So you can go to getamazonmusic.com/trackstars right now. It's the Amazon Premium Unlimited. You want to make sure you check that out. Over 70 million songs and thousands of perfected playlists. And when you listen, it saves what you like. So when you get on the next time, you can just tell Alexa, hit my favorite jams. And there you go. All right. Make sure you go to the link. getamazonmusic.com/trackstars with a Z. Yep.
All right. We got MTMV in the building with us today. All the crew. Most of the crew.
What up, crew?
Rick, introduce everybody.
All right, y'all. Hey, man, thank y'all so much. I love always being in the building, man, with the track stars. Y'all know what it is, man. This is family. I got with me, man, Connie West Side, the best side. I need y'all to see West Side. West Side, go ahead and say what's up. All right, cool. And then we got,
we got West Side, the best side, man.
Yo,
I
got the man, the myth, the legend, the voice in the building, man. The voice is here. Voice, say what's up, man.
What's good, everybody? It's your man, the myth, the legend, the voice.
All right, bet. And we got the star of BET. we got my man Will Smith here, y'all. Will Smith is here. Y'all know Will Smith. He's been here before, y'all. So Will Smith is here. He's our host for the Red and Bull podcast and a whole bunch of other stuff, man. So Will Smith is in the building. We'll say what's up, Will.
What up? It's your boy Will Smith with Red and Bold, and I'm your MTMV sports correspondent for your Kansas City football Chiefs.
Bet.
And quiet for a minute, huh?
No, because we won the year before. So who's your team, man? Who's your team?
So
Falcons, baby.
Rick put together an awesome podcast network, My Team, My Voice. So make sure you go check them out. Doing some awesome stuff. Constant content coming out. So can never get bored with MTMV. All right, so fellas, a bunch of guys in the room. Hopefully you've heard of Derrick Jaxn. All right, and we're Christian men in the room, and we're gonna have to account for this guy. Like, he claims to be strong, married Christian man, and he's making us look bad, right? Because there's so many of these stories coming out of all these guys who claim to be Christian and have wives, and they just falling off, right? So first of all, just in case you don't know, Derrick Jaxn is a self-proclaimed relationship guru. He typically goes on other people's videos and comments and either celebrates what he's seeing or critiques what he's seeing. Like, he critiqued John Gray when he messed up, Kevin Hart when he messed up, things like that, right? So the whole time he's basically just in his car or in his house with his cell phone, kind of responding to what he's seeing, and he's been very hard on men, and he typically kind of favors the woman's side in almost every debate, which is fine. But all the while, come to find out, he was cheating on his wife. He had at least two mistresses. One got pregnant and had an abortion, and he was still with her the week he sent out the video sitting next to his wife, basically saying, hey, I messed up, she forgave me, blah, 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 right? So this guy is complete liar. I mean, that's safe to say, right? What do you guys think about Derrick Jaxn?
Man, when I was doing my research, I saw it was 3. The fact that he was, based on my research, this is coming from the Sun News in the UK, he was intimate with one of his mistresses not even 10 days ago.
Yep.
March 18th. This is, you just make us look bad. This is absolutely horrible and deplorable. You were with her for his wife for 12 years, married for 4, and you talking all this head about everybody else, which happens so often, especially within religious circles. We're often most critical of the things that lie within us that we don't want to deal with. But talking about all these other people when you've got the situation, the issues that you have, when you need to be dealing with your stuff versus out there doing whatever it is you're doing, talking about other folks. Got a novel about the heart of a cheating man. Well, it's not a novel anymore. It's looking like it's his life story, and it's sold out. So either some people gonna need, depending on how this turns out, some people are either going to need a refund, or he's gonna need to re-up on those and put more of them out.
For real quick, for the people in the comments that are like, I don't know who this guy is, don't feel bad. I did not either. I have never seen this guy in my life, but that's part of the point. That's why I wanted to bring this up, because a lot of our sisters have seen this guy. Somehow Instagram is just throwing this guy at all your female friends, and a lot of them know about him. And especially if you're single and you keep seeing guys like this pop up, it makes I'm afraid that it's gonna make our single sisters feel like it's impossible to find a godly man, and that's kind of what we're addressing today. What do you think, Ray?
Well, I mean, he's the leading campaign starter for Black Men Don't Cheat, and that's not the move.
Yeah.
And honestly, man, I know. Listen, here's the thing. I know some black men who don't. You feel what I'm saying? Well, at least I want to say that out loud. But I'm serious. At some point, there was a guy, and I often mention it. There was a guy, and me and my friend, we talked, and he was like, "Hey, bro, do we know any black men around us who, we can say for sure, looking at that character, that they don't cheat on their wives?" And at the time, right, this is before I got married. At the time, I couldn't really answer that question. And we thought about preachers, pastors, deacons, right, everybody from back home, and I couldn't really say for sure that, man, nah, that dude ain't doing it. You feel what I'm saying? I couldn't do that. With this dude, there's a lot of women who looked at him and was like, "Oh, there's one black man who ain't doing it." You know what I mean? And I know that for a fact. And not his anyway. So listen, I know we feel like you lose one. What I'm saying is very simply, it does look bad for everybody, but I do know some black men who don't cheat, right? I'm looking at a panel. You feel what I'm saying? When I met the Trackstarz, when I met Sean, when I married, and this is before they got married, I kind of knew that the thought process of these men, the makeup of these men were different. You feel what I'm saying? It was a different situation. I attached myself almost to this group because I wanted to be challenged like that. I met a guy at the basketball gym, and he was like, I don't know if y'all know this dude, it's Broadway, man. Broadway's so funny. But what he said was, he's like, "I'm gonna go out strong." And I'm like, "What you mean?" Because he's like 52, right? He shouted out every time he hit a 3-pointer. He said, I'm 52, right? And I said, "Hey, bro, what's up?" He was like, "Man, I'm trying to end my life and finish strong." I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "I'm gonna end my life without cheating on my wife. Like, I'm gonna finish strong. I'm gonna finish strong. God is calling us to finish strong." And he challenged me to finish strong, right? To live my life with that message in my mind. And I was like, wow, I have some brothers who do that. Sean, Jeremiah, Ryan, I'm gonna say this. Don't make me look like a liar later.
2 weeks later.
Will Smith. Look, Will Smith is another brother, man. Like, I try to surround myself with black men, right, who will challenge me to live up to what I'm supposed to live up to, right? All I'm saying is this man is not doing that, right? But don't lose hope. If you're listening to this, don't lose hope. There are black men who don't cheat, right? There are definitely black men who don't cheat. And you're looking at a panel of them.
Man, I'll say this.
Can I say something?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, we can't. I can't call him one of us because I don't think he's Christian at all. I think he's one of those like guys that grandma was in the church and he kind of did it by default. I think he's just black that needed a religion, so he just said, "I want to be Christian" or whatever. So I don't want to put him in our category, but at the same time, like also he's also black. We got this thing called Black Men Don't Cheat, and I want to say I don't cheat. I never cheated. I cheated on the test. I don't know if that counts.
Okay.
You eliminated.
You're not helping, Brad. You're not helping.
So I'll say this. It sounds like it was a man who had a plank in his own eye trying to take a plank out of somebody else's eye.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this: as a married man, you kind of believe prior to marriage that once you get married that you're good sex wise. Like, I'm gonna be cool now because I got a wife. No, you're still tempted. As a married man, you will still be tempted. He's not the first. I mean, one of the most famous men in biblically in history, King David. You know what I'm saying? He struggled with it. Solomon had, wives and concubines. There's a reason that the word talks about sex so much. And it tells, tells the wife and the husband not to deprive each other, because then you're open to temptation from the enemy. And believe me, the enemy is going to attack you. And it's the reason we got to wear our, our armor and our helmet of salvation, because that helmet, it starts in the mind and your thoughts. And if you entertain those thoughts. So essentially you have to choose, either you're going to choose God or you're going to choose to feel that temporary craving from the flesh, man. And sometimes that craving can be, I'll say personally, it's been some times where out of nowhere had this urge, like, what the heck? Like, where did this come from? And so, but you gotta take that captive with the word, man. It's like, because I don't want to like shame him or say he's not even Christian. He could be a man struggling with this, as a lot of people struggle with. Like, sex is one of the biggest things that people struggle with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we are in this flesh and you do have those urges. And the thing is, okay, how do I temper that and change my perspective to think of sex as holy versus something that I just need to get off? You know what I'm saying? I just need to get this release.
Real quick, I want to make sure this is not to discourage anybody who has fallen in this area as a man or a woman. There's people who have cheated and God has restored them completely. That's not this issue with this guy. If that was his only issue, that would be fine. The problem is,
he's supposed to set a standard
while he was telling other people that they was trash for cheating. It's the double life that we're talking about. What you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you have somebody telling you not to do something and then they're the one that's doing it, someone's preaching against it, it hurts for all the more reasons, because there's people that are being led astray, right? And the Bible talks about that. It's better for you to tie a millstone around your neck and jump into the sea than to lead my little ones astray, because of reasons like this, because women who are listening to him and are championing him for success are now discouraged, right? And it's up for brothers like ourselves to rebuild their confidence in knowing that there are men out there that don't cheat. And then you got to get to the root of what cheating is all about, and why it happens, and how to refrain from it and stay away from it. And I think in a marriage, you have to have honest, open communication with your spouse about where you are in life, what you did in your past. Don't try to hide anything when you come in. If you know someone has had struggles before, premarital sex and things like that, then that's something that you keep ongoing communication about, right? How are you doing in that area? And making sure that, if it's something that you all need to pray about, fast about, those things are happening. But I really think that it comes down to, for me personally, it's priority. I set my standards. I know that God is first in my life. I know my family is second in my life. And I look at that and I say, okay, here are the things that cannot affect my relationship with God and cannot affect my relationship with my family. And those are the things that I build off of. And I also, when you're a victim of it, or I'll call it a victim. When you're a victim of it, is it happened in my own family, then you look at it differently. My great grandfather was an alcoholic. And for that reason alone, my grandfather was alcoholic. My dad did not drink alcohol, and I don't drink alcohol, because we know the effects of alcohol has done to a loved one. Same thing with cheating and divorce. We know what that feels like. Then you work harder not to let that be your reality.
Jeremiah.
Man, it's a lot to unpack with this thing. Not just because I think what you said earlier about like people who fall or whatever. Of course, we see it as, okay, they need to get back to, not back together, but they need to humble themselves, get help. Some people help them out, and like they can get back to who they were, right? But this gentleman, I didn't see all of the first video with him and his wife the first time. So I'm thinking like, oh wow, okay. blah, blah, blah. But then more stuff keeps coming out, you know, and I think what made me mad about this situation was his react video. He did a react video of himself reacting to him and his wife's video.
Yeah, he did.
And when I saw that, I was like, bro, like for real? Like, are you really this? I think I could piggyback what everybody said on this call about cheating. You know, man, I want to kick a dead horse. But I also want to ask this to the ladies in the comments, the ladies who watching this, is like, what was so appealing about this guy that it's making some of y'all like?
Well, hold up. I mean,
I'm just asking a question. That's what I'm just saying. What is so appealing about somebody that you don't know? Is it almost like the scripture that talks about itching ears? Is something that you want to hear that you're not hearing in your church? Like, that's a very good question. Like, is it something that you're not hearing?
That they're not hearing. I honestly think it's just that like people and I'm saying people in general. I'm not saying that like just women, but people in general just want to be right. And all he was doing was saying, "You're right. You're right. How you feel is absolutely right. You're the way that you're going back about it is absolutely correct. No one should tell you different." That's what people were trying to hear. That's what he brought to that. And not only that, I guess he had the good looking face, so he was easy on the eyes, and he was telling these women, "Oh, you need to think like this because you're right. You're right." So it wasn't even like, you know. It wasn't even like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, I want to be with this man. Like, no, this man was just telling you, like, you're right. And that's where we fall at as humans, man. We want to be right. The Bible says that we sit here, Bible says that we insist on our own way. And you know what I'm saying, but we should not. And the thing is, it's just a bunch of people just insisting on their own way, saying that like, yo, whatever he's saying, I'm going to try to apply it to my life because I'm right, I'm correct. It's all about me. We have this me syndrome.
The only caution I have on that is it makes it seem like it was their fault. Like what I see here is that there's a real need being exploited. The problem is there's a lot of trash dudes out there available to these women. And when they experience these trash dudes over and over and over again, and somebody comes along and says, "You're right, those guys are trash. I'm going to tell you why they trash, and I'm going to tell you what they should be doing. They should be more like me." That's appealing. I mean, that's not their fault that these dudes are trash. That's the dude's fault. There's too many guys out there that are absolute trash. So when you see somebody that's like, "Oh, man, this guy isn't trash."
There's a double side to it. Literally, there's a double side to it. Like, but he was still saying, like, these women are correct, like, based upon how they react to things. Like, it could be the simplest things, like, if he doesn't rub your feet at night, then he doesn't love you. Like, he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what he would say. And like now women are demanding like, "Yo, rub my feet at night." Not saying that we don't need to rub our feet, but I'm just saying, like, you know, it's just a weird demand that he was putting on.
I think what I was saying was I'm not putting it on them. I'm just saying it seems like we've been in churches for a majority of us, that's on this call, we've been in a church where we've seen the dude in the church that was charismatic, that could speak a good game, and we know like, yo, that dude ain't right, but women would be like, like, and it'd be like, y'all, do y'all know, like they're not saying the right, they're just saying the right things, but their lives are totally different. So I just think, and my question was, and I'm not blaming no woman, I'm just saying, what is it about that guy that's appealing?
But Jeremiah, the only problem I'm saying is that you're assuming they have access to a ton of great guys to compare to. That's not the case for a lot of women. There's almost everyone they meet is trash.
I don't know, man.
I think you're taking.
Do you think everybody's church? Everybody in our comment. Do you think that you at a church where is like, what's the percentage of right guys in your church that you know of? Like you know,
not all these people are in a church that are watching this guy.
Some of those women don't want the right guy. They want the bad boy. Some women are attracted.
But I don't think you guys realize how rare to be in a room full of guys that are actually legit. That's not, if you go out and let's say you're not deep in church. You're just, you're on Instagram watching stuff. To find a guy that's legit That is not. I think we take for granted the circles that we're in. We know a bunch of guys like that, but a lot of women don't meet guys like that. It's not available to them.
And when you're speaking about men, and specifically men in church, number one, women outnumber men in church 10-1. That's a problem. Half of the men in the church are married. It could be even more than that, but you got, let's say it's half of them are married. Okay, so that leaves you half. Half of those men are gay that are still left. Let's be real. So that leaves you with yet another half. Then half of those men are no good. So it leaves you with a very, very small percentage of men who are eligible, who are really living the life. And then
they got to
have on the other end of the spectrum, women want a good man, but unfortunately they've been with so many dogs that they don't know how to treat a good man. And they'll put the same dog standards on a good man because that's all that they've seen and known. And that's understandable.
So somebody just brought something up in the chat that's interesting, right? Derrick Jaxn is almost like takes the opposite approach of the guy, I think his name is Kevin Samuels. Yeah, Derrick Jaxn takes the woman's point of view almost every time. Kevin Samuels takes the guy's point of view almost every single time and makes the women feel dumb for not understanding that they should also be taking the guy's point of view.
That is not true.
To me, both.
That's not true.
Oh, you're a fan.
That's not true.
You're a fan.
That's not true. I watched this guy go in on a guy for 25 minutes straight.
You got all his books right?
He's hard on everybody. He said the dude was like, I'm 5'5", and not only that, I'm overweight. He's like, dude, you got two things going against you. Ain't nothing interesting about you.
So he's just a mean person, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's
equal opportunity. He's equal opportunity
on both people.
The only problem is that most of the people he's talking to are women that are called that I've seen. Is that right?
No, but guys will call too, and they can get to work too. Honestly, he'd look at this panel and he'd go in basically.
But we married though. We have wives.
It don't matter.
Wives, so
he'll dump
he'd be like, y'all better hold on, because outside of this is it. I'm looking at each one of you guys as a serious disappointment.
Y'all better not cheat. There ain't nothing else out there for you.
What you doing with your life?
Oh man.
No, but I'll say this. At the end of the day, what Sean is saying is correct. It's like I do think though, and this is just my opinion. I do think there are good guys at churches. I think what it is, and I said this even when I was single, it's the guys are looking at the bad girls, and the good girls are looking at the bad guys, and they just don't seem like they're interested in each other with like what you really need in a spouse. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel that way. I feel like there's good women and good guys at the church, but they just overlook each other until one day somebody say, hey, what about that person? Or one day you may be in ministry with that person, and then that changes. But I think overall, women look for some women may look for a swagger in a guy, some confidence in a guy. Some men may look just for the outward appearance of a woman. So I think the thing is, what we have to see, and prayerfully is whoever watching this, their eyes will be open to see the person that they need is right next to them all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's what I see in the church. And I think the problem with the what's going on in church now is you got pastors like Derrick Jaxn out there, you know what I'm saying, that is speaking a good game. And then you have some men in there that's speaking a good game, but they just know how to bring attention to themselves. So when they bring that attention to themselves, people surround them and they give googly eyes, or they like the boys like, yo, man, I want to be like him too. You know what I'm saying? He getting da. But his character is flawed. You know what I mean? And I think what God is doing right now, I feel like is he just pulling back the cover, and it's like, because it's like crunch time now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like he's like pulling back the cover on people. And he also showing people like in his time, like, get right. Like, if you're not right, get right. I'm using these as an example. You don't have to be an example. I'm just showing you to get right. And it's not like, and it's not like I said, it's not just saying like, if you fall, you're going to become this guy. It's like you fall, you get up, you get help and whatever. But I think for people like him, I think God is showing, and I would say people in the spotlight, that God is showing, like, hey, this could be you too. So get right, change on the inside. Ask for help if you need help.
Hey, y'all know what? Y'all know who his pastor is, or at least who I guess he was serving under at some point.
Say it.
Do y'all remember the oral sex demon guy?
No.
The guy who removed the spirit. I don't know if y'all know.
Yeah.
His name is Ed Centrinelli. Have y'all ever heard of the oral sex demon?
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
man,
so there was
I
a
saw that video
pastor.
so many times.
You seen that video, right? There was a pastor.
Yeah.
There was a pastor who was removing a demon from this woman, right? So he's removing the demon from her, and that pastor went viral in that video, and that's kind of his whole vibe, right? So he was removing demons from her, and when she goes down, like to be caught, in a lot of his videos, that guy, this Jaxn guy, is there to catch people as they're falling off, right?
Oh, wow.
So all I'm saying is leadership.
That was a long walk
PG
to
to
leadership.
MA.
Right.
Leadership. Who are you under?
Literally.
Well, I'll be honest
so
with you.
Wait, are we not going to talk about the fact that it's really tough, y'all, for that guy to be faithful because of all the women who will probably be trying to get at him?
no.
Dude, he was going out and
say
pursuing
that.
using fake names.
Yeah.
You using
No,
fake
no.
names?
Yeah, my name's Zeke.
This isn't this is not a guy to me that was struggling and fell. This is a guy that was
Yeah.
lying.
This is a
Yeah.
dude that hangs
I
out
think-
at the gym just for that reason alone.
I think that the disappointment and the damaging part of it that we have to be careful of is it's the hypocrisy and of what it can do to those who are unbelievers, and then look at somebody who's telling you to do something, but then come to find out you're doing the same thing I'm doing. Like, why should I
It makes
come
it all
to
look
church, or
fake.
why should I become a believer if you still live in the same way?
Hey, Ryan, he was specter dating.
Conrad, a long time listener.
Inspector dating, but yeah.
All right, let's take a break from
speculating.
this. You're in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.